What's up guys, it's Matters. I want to talk about the realistic possibilities of us seeing a Mob of the Dead remastered zombies map either for Black Ops 3 or Black Ops or whatever, Treyarch's next 2018 title is called, because it is a bit of a meme, I'm not gonna lie. We didn't see it in Zombies Chronicles. It was a huge upset. It was like, oh, Mob of the Dead, why is that not there? It's like one of the most favored maps in all of, the Zombies community and Zombies history. Like, everyone loves Mob of the Dead, so it just didn't make sense. It goes along with the storyline in different ways and all these different things with the transit crew and the blood vials and I don't know, there's just so much different stuff I don't want to get into because I don't really know the whole scope of it. But Mob of the Dead was a hugely important map, and obviously we didn't see it. We sort of saw the saga of these origins characters, and I guess it does make sense, and that's a whole different video really. But what are the chances of us actually seeing Mob of the Dead remastered? Like, how they would do it, why they would do it, and when they would do it, when they would give us this map. So that being said, we're gonna look at a realistic approach of how it could actually happen. If you guys can leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated, and let's get started. So I have a couple things here listed off. I'm gonna start off with Black Ops 3, and then we'll move on to this map being within Black Ops 4 and how that makes sense, and vice versa and stuff like that. So starting off with Black Ops 3, obviously we already saw in Black Ops 3's basically second cycle year, you have Zombies Chronicles releasing in May. Wasn't entirely expected, leaks came out, blah, blah. I don't want to talk much about that, but we had the idea that was going to happen. It came out in May, and I think the main sort of point of why that was successful and why it made sense for Treyarch to do Zombies Chronicles is because it comes down to Activision. And it's the same thing with Mob of the Dead Remastered, or anything else they release under the title Zombies, under the umbrella Zombies. It's because Activision knows that Zombies is insanely popular and it makes them so much freaking money. You know how much money they made with a $30 map pack with zombie maps? It's like, it's such a crazy thing. And I want to leave this thing up here. Charlie Intel, I'm pretty sure, tweeted it today that Zombies Chronicles is still #1 ever since May. That's freaking insane that it's still #1. It's beating all these different things, all these different add-ons, all these different things. And I mean, even the Giant Zombies map is up there at #4, so that's pretty sick as well. But Zombies Chronicles still #1, and it's I don't know, it just shows how popular this was, how much of a huge success this was. And Mob of the Dead, they could easily release that on its own. I don't know the pricing of what one Zombies map would be, but regardless, they would make a ton of money from that as well, and they would continue to spark players' interest in the game. They want players to go on Zombies, buy Gobblegums, continue to just put their money and play time and effort in the game to keep the game alive. And adding Mob of the Dead Remastered, I mean, I would say if we would see it, it wouldn't be this year. I think Zombies Chronicles is pretty much done for this year. It would take us into to the end of this year. So maybe next year, as the hype builds, for Treyarch's next game. Obviously, next year they're already going to be like the beginning of 2018. They're going to start revealing and teasing Black Ops 4, the next Treyarch game, whatever it's going to be called. So within that reveal hype phase of Treyarch's new next game, whatever it's called, they could easily release Mob of the Dead Remastered around the same time in May, and that will spark players' interest again in Treyarch and take us through to the next Treyarch game. Now, it is a bit of a different circumstance now, just because of the fact that, I guess Activision, well, this is a problem. They knew that Infinite Warfare wasn't going to do well, but Zombies Chronicles was already in development before Infinite Warfare was even released. I guess maybe they saw from the pre-order numbers, and that must have been why, or they just knew, they just had an idea that it wasn't going to do as well. Or maybe Treyarch was just like, you know what, we have extra time, let's do it. They, asked Activision if we can do this next DLC, because in the past, Activision, they went to market, and this was a good counter argument to DLC 5. Like, if someone made a video why DLC 5 is not possible, it's because the main reason is why Activision, they want to promote their game that is currently out. Why would they want to take the promotion and put it towards an old game? That doesn't make sense. But they did it though with Black Ops 3. So they must have known that Infinite Warfare was just not going to bring the players to play Call of Duty and bring the players to spend their money on supply drops and stuff like that. or maybe they just let Treyarch do what they need to do. Yeah, you never know. But that being said, it's different because World War II zombies and anything with World War II, there's a lot of hype with World War II. I don't know if Activision this time again next year, they're gonna be like, okay, you know what, let's just let the hype build for World War II. You know, next May, we're gonna be in between, I guess, DLC 2 or DLC 3 for World War II Zombies, and next May is when we're gonna be revealing, you know, the new Treyarch game stuff. So depending on World War II Zombies, how good it is, I guess we'll have to see, you know, if a Mob of the Dead Remastered could come up there, and I think next year would be a good time just because of the hype of, you know, the next game. Now, chance of that, I don't know. We'll see what the deal is there. Obviously, I think it's reasonable to say that World War II Zombies, it's going to have a higher player count than Infinite Warfare. How much of a higher player count? No one knows, really. So, if any, it also comes down to Treyarch having time to just develop a Mob of the Dead Remastered 2 and still put it out for Black Ops 3 and not work on their main, you know, next game, Black Ops 4, whatever it's called. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things into it. So, I think that's possible. It's definitely possible. It made sense for Infinite Warfare. It made sense this year in 2017, but for 2018 during World War II, I don't know. During the World War II DLC season in May and around the same time, I just don't know how possible that is. But with Black Ops 4, I think it's a bit more possible. First of all, you know, they want to develop the, I think at this point, most of their time, or all of their time, is directly towards their new game. You know, they're giving us different little weapons, different little things for Black Ops 3 still. I think we're still going to get different stuff for Black Ops 3, but they really want to make Black Ops 4 a hugely popular game, just like Black Ops 3 was. So, that being said, I just want to make a quick comparison to the beginning of Black Ops 3, the 2 launch maps, which was, you know, Duri's Remastered and Shadows of Evil. So, could we see, you know, just a launch map, whatever it is, you know, with new characters, or I don't know if it's going to be a new storyline. I definitely think we're going to have new characters. I think it's going to be still based off the same storyline, maybe an extension of it, maybe more of Dr. Monty and what he wants to do with his new world and all that insane stuff from Revelations, you know, and we see alongside that Mob of the Dead Remastered as a launch map. Now, again, I don't know what the storyline implications of that would be. I don't know how they would do that. I don't know, you know, obviously they would find a way to intertwine that into, you know, telling the new story, whatever their sort of new story is, an extension of what we have now, an extension of the universe. You know, our story right now, it's just too insane to even figure out. You guys have seen the timeline map that they released when Zombies Chronicles came out. There's just all different, just multiverse. It's just a multiverse and there's different universes just everywhere intertwining, connecting, and it's just way too crazy to even understand. So I think a Mob Dead Remastered, they have the material, they could do it. You know, some people said they didn't do it for Zombies Chronicles because they didn't have like the voice actors, like the different mobsters to play. But you can just have different characters on. You don't need to have the original Mob Dead crew on the map. So I don't like that argument. But you know, however you want to play the story into it being, you know, for a Black Ops 4 launch map, the Giant, you know, made a bit of sense with that. It was the beginning of the whole summoning key search and, you know, getting the sort of old, you know, Black Ops 1 soul bodies of the old characters, and you started off with Richtofen and you went through and you ended off with, you know, what was it, Nikolai or something. So, you know, we'll see what the deal is there. I'm not trying to go into the storyline, it's way too confusing, but I'm just thinking in general, it would make sense if you're doing, you know, there's always multiple maps on release. I think if anything, Treyarch was like, look, they definitely saw Twitter, they definitely looked at YouTube, they definitely saw how many people were surprised Mob of the Dead wasn't there, and they maybe thought, let's just throw it in for Black Ops 4 at the launch of the game. You know, it's very possible that they could have done that. So, I don't know. We'll see. Other than that, Black Ops 4 itself, besides, you know, Mob of the Dead being a launch map alongside their main sort of new story map, I can maybe see that obviously we're getting into a huge stretch here. This would be in like 2019. This is a stretch at this point. But, you know, we could see maybe a second Zombies Chronicles. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speculate and, you know, make all the different claims and stuff. Zombies Chronicles, I guess it made sense for the game right now. I think another Zombies Chronicles would be a bit weird because it would just seem like you're throwing maps together. If it wouldn't really make a lot of sense, you know, it definitely wouldn't really make a lot of sense just throwing all these maps together unless they just did it for the sake of remastering and there wasn't much storyline stuff. Because with Zombies Chronicles and Black Ops 3, they didn't really change much of anything. They really just remastered it, and that's really it. There's nothing else that really happened. There's some, you know, minor Easter eggs, but, you know, all the quotes pretty much the same. Like, everything was pretty much the same. So, you know, maybe they could just, you know, scrap up all the different maps that weren't remastered, put that in, and that, I guess, wouldn't even be 2019. That'd be 2020, because 2019 would just be what would be Black Ops 4's just normal DLC season. So it would be a year after Black Ops 4's, you know, normal DLC season. I don't know. At that point, who knows? Who knows what the hell is gonna happen? But those are just the baseline possibilities of seeing a Mob of the Dead remastered map. You know, that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Again, you know, the likeliness of any of this. Well, you have to think about it. Before DLC 5 came out, DLC 5 was a complete and utter meme. Like, people laughed and they were just like, you guys seriously think this is gonna be a DLC 5? Like, how stupid are you? It's just, it was actually the funniest thing ever. And I mean, I made videos on it, but I myself, I was like, okay, well, I think it could happen, but I know it's probably not gonna happen. I thought to myself, I'm like, well, realistically, it can't happen. I think, you know, when you see the evidence and you see different stuff and you see different theories, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm making a case for it. I'm making a case for that. But at the end of the day, I was just like, yeah, at the end of the day, if I had to make a bet on it, I would make a bet to say no, you know? And then when the evidence really came through and the leaks came out and everything came out, it just proved everyone wrong. So I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I mean, it's just a video really seeing, like, could we see it again? Could we see another Zombies Chronicles? I don't know. Probably not. You never know. I'm just gonna put it out there. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Mob of the Dead remastered? I know this video didn't really have a lot of storyline substance and of really why it needs to happen and what else needs to be told. I think I need to do some more reading if I really want to seem reasonably knowledgeable on the Mob of the Dead storyline and its implication on the universe, because I know it has a huge implication on the universe. I just don't have it all laid out on in my brain and just ready to bring it to you guys, but I know it's there. So if I ever want to get around to that, you know, that'd be good. But I can talk about in a normal, reasonable standpoint of why Activision would do it and why it would just be cool to see Mob of the Dead remastered. So I don't know, man. That's my video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. And if you're watching at the end of this video, leave a comment below MOTD. So I can see Mob of the Dead, obviously, so I can see the accounts that are watching the whole video, because obviously it's greatly appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.